Hi everyone, I'm Shivansh. In my last video, I talked about an automation, which was basically an invoicing follow-up automation for agencies and for businesses who have pending invoices with their clients, and they can just simply use this automation to send automated follow-ups timely, so that they can at least ensure that the other person, that the prospect, will complete the invoices in time, and they won't be having any pending payment to be done. So yeah, without any further ado, without any more explanation, I'll just straightforward get into the automation that I have for you. So right here, what you see is the automation that I'm talking about, and this is basically the whole invoicing follow-up system that can be used by any business to send timely follow-ups. Like for this particular automation, I've set it for each 4 days. So it's like as soon as you send anybody an invoice, 4 days later they'll get a follow-up. Then another 4 days later they'll get another one. Then 4 days later they'll get two more follow-ups. And this is how the system works. This is how it at least ensures from its side that your invoices are getting paid timely. And we'll actually start with a new workflow canvas. So when you come to init end, first of all, we have this manual step as this manual trigger. You can change this trigger later, like you can schedule it for every Monday or every other day, or like you can just set up triggers as you want at your preference. But for the sake of this automation, to just keep it simple, I'm just setting this execute workflow manual trigger. Then second, we have our Google Sheets node from which we will just scrape all the list of the pending invoices that we have. So to show you, I have this Google Sheet with myself, which just contains all the, of course, this is a demo. So it just contains all the information about the pending invoices that exist right now. So I have this invoice ID, then I have this prospect name, company, email, invoice amount, invoice status, date sent, last contacted. You can just, to create such a sheet for yourself, you just have to go to new tab, then you have to type sheets.new. You just open this up and fill in all the information. So yeah, you just have to select this get rows in sheet module or node in any end. Then you have to connect your Google Sheets account. You just have to create new credential. Then you have to select this OAuth 2, and here you will get an option like sign in with Google. Yeah, this one. Then you just click it, you select your account, and yeah, I love those steps. But finally, you'll just connect your account, and when you do, then you just have to come here. You just have to click on this document, then select the one that contains all your lists. So for me, it is this invoices record that you see. I'll just click it. Then the sheets, I'll just have this sheet one. Yep, select it. Then we'll actually have to put in a filter. Okay. Now, because we're using this automation only to send follow-ups to the invoices that still need to be paid, we'll just put in a filter, as in you see this invoice status column. We don't want these paid invoices or these leads who have already paid, or these prospects who have already paid us. So we'll just put in a filter that filters out these paid ones and only takes in these overdue and the pending invoices. Okay, so we'll just come in it in, and here we just click on add filter, and then the columns will load up. Select on this, then we have this invoice status, then value. I'll just select the value to be first of all it's pending. Yeah, first of all it's pending, then second it's overdue. So make sure that you take care of the uppercase and the lowercase letters exactly as there is in the Google Sheets, or it might cause an error. Then again, I'll just add another filter for the overdue one. So again, I'll just select this invoice status. I'll just type in overdue, and yep, done. Also, for this combined filters, you can just select or, so that at least one of these conditions is met. Now we have set up this thing. We can just rename it like get spending invoices. Yep. Then the third node that we'll have to put in is a filter node to basically filter out all the leads who have not been contacted within the previous 4 days. Okay. Why we're doing this is because we don't want to follow up with any leads a day after the other, right? So it's like if I followed up with a lead yesterday, I want to follow up with them today as well, right? So I'll have to at least give them a gap of 4 days for the sake of this automation, which I prefer. Inside this filter, we'll have to put in a variable that equals to the date today minus this last contacted date, so that it equals to the amount of days that of which the difference is, right? So that we'll be able to determine if there already have been 4 days since we last contacted with them. Okay, so yeah, we'll just come in. I actually have this particular variable for you, which is double curly brackets, dollar sign, now dot diff2 Just make sure you take care of these uppercase and the lowercase letters again and all these spaces in between. I'll just copy this one. You can just copy this thing into your workflow as well. So yeah, I'll just copy it. I'll just put in it here, and then I'll just select this particular condition. Then I'll select number and is greater than or equal to, and I'll put the condition the value to 4. So I only need the leads whom I have not contacted with in the last 4 days. Okay. So yeah, this is literally what you have to put in there, and this is the single filter that you have to put in there. Okay, then we have this switch node to actually distribute the if I show you the previous workflow, if I show the real actual workflow, you see there are these four Gmail nodes which contain like send a message, then send follow-up 1, send follow-up 2, and send follow-up 3. Okay, so it's based on like if you have not watched my previous video already, I would recommend you to first check it out because it also contains the demo of this whole thing, so that you can just get a more clear view of this particular video, this full guide that I'm showing you right now in this video. This first path will only be used for a lead whom we have to send our first follow-up. Okay, so it's like 4 days later, 4 days after an invoice is sent. Then this second path will be used when one follow-up is already sent, and now it's time for the second follow-up. Okay, so it's like 8 days later from the invoice being sent. Then similarly, for this one, it's like 12 days after the invoice is sent, and for this one, it's like 16 days after the invoice is sent. Now the thing is, in this switch node even, I'll have to put in a variable that equals to the amount of days that have been between today and the day when we sent our invoice. So if we see our Google Sheets record, we have these dates as the dates sent in this date sent column. We have these dates when we actually sent the follow up the invoice. Okay, so we'll actually have to calculate the days between today and this date. So for this, what we'll do is we'll just go to the filter and we'll just select this one, just copy this thing, go to switch, paste it here. But what we'll do is we'll just replace this value or this name of the column. So for this variable inside this filter node, we actually used the last contacted column. But for this distribute column or for this switch node, we'll use this date sent column. So I'll just select this last contacted thing and delete it, and I'll replace it with date set. Again, make sure that my uppercase and my lowercase letters match exactly what is there in the column's name. So yeah, that's it. And I'll just put in this number is equal to, then I'll keep it 4. Okay. Then similarly, I'll just add 3 more routing rules, copy it, paste it, and I'll put the exact value to 8. Okay, so as you see, I've successfully filled in all these 4 routing rules or all these 4 paths. Also, make sure that you select this condition as in the number, then is equal to. By default, it's set to the string is equal to, so don't confuse the string one with the number category. Click on each of these routing rules, select number, and then go to is equal to, okay? Otherwise, it'll just cause you some errors. So now that we have set up all these 4 paths for 4 days, 8 days, 12 and 16 days, now we can just, rename this thing as distribute follow-ups. Then we'll actually put in the Gmail notes to send in the Gmail follow-ups. So click on this send a message, and there we go. Here's our node. Okay, yeah, I'll just select this one, I'll just copy it, and I'll paste it 3 more times so that we have it successfully for our all 4 paths. Yep. Then I'll connect it with all 4 of them. Awesome. Now we have our 4 different paths. Also, I can just rename them as this first one. This first one can be send follow up 1. Then this second one could be send follow up 2. This third one could be send follow up 3. This fourth one could be send follow up 4. Okay. Now for this Gmail node, we'll actually have to put in some variables as their email, the subject, and the message. Now for these variables, we'll actually have to run the workflow, and we have to get some records from this Google Sheets. To execute this workflow, first I'll have to actually remove these Gmail nodes because they're going to cause some error and my workflow won't be executed. I'll just click on this execute workflow real fast. So I got my values, and then I can just Control plus Z, I can undo it, and I get my Gmail nodes restored, and now I see I have all the values that I need. So when I click on this first one, I have the email, so I can just click on this Google Sheet node and I have this email thing. I can just drag it here and I'll get the value. Okay, I just got it, and I'll do the same thing for all four of them. Okay, so I've successfully done it for all four of these Gmail nodes. Now all the information left to be stored inside this node is the subject and the message. For this, what I can do is I can just go to ChatGPT. I can just tell it, you're an excellent copywriter. No, email copywriter. I have to write some emails for following up with prospects for my pending invoices. Please prepare an email script for me that's short and that's to the point. I am sending a total of four emails. So give me four different emails for complete follow-up sequence. Yup, I can put it this prompt and yup, I got this thing. Really short emails and to the point again. So I can just copy this first one. I can just copy this body. I can just go to my edit N. I can put it there on my message. Now, really quickly, I'll just complete it for all these four nodes and I'll meet you there. Okay, so finally I filled in all these Gmail nodes and all these subject and message bodies. You can just take a look. So now if I finally execute this workflow, and also to show you, I just changed all of these dates here that I had for these dates sent and the last contact column so that, I could match that 4-day, 8-day, 12-day, and 16-day gap range. I can just now execute the workflow. It'll scrape all the pending invoices and then it'll filter out them, then it'll distribute them according to the dates. And you see here, I've got four different results for the four different dates. The first one being after 4 days, the second one being after 8 days, then the 12 days, and the 16 days. So if I just show you the follow-up one, so it was sent to Lucas Mayer, and he was sent an invoice on 9 December, and today is like 4 days later. Okay, and then for the follow-up then the second follow-up, it is Olivia, who was sent an invoice on 5 December, which is like 8 days ago. And then similarly for the follow-up three, it's Noah Fisher. He was sent an invoice on 1st December, and the fourth one is Ethan, who was sent an invoice on 27 November. Okay, so that's how it works, and that's how it actually sends the suitable follow-up messages according to the dates and according to the gaps that have been there in between. Now, as we've set up these Gmail nodes, now if I just show you this original workflow, the only thing we have left is this Google Sheet node to just update this last connected column so that we just have an updated version of all these dates and when we last contacted these persons. But before that, I just have this advanced version of this workflow for you, which I also talked about in my last video if you just saw it. So it's like if we had possibly, let's take a hypothetical example that we had a conversation with one of our prospects. So let's say we send them the second follow-up and then they replied that they will pay the invoice, they will complete the invoice within 7 days. So they just need a gap of 7 days. But what if this workflow, just 4 days later from that conversation, sends them another follow up? So it's like pretty much out of context because they just said that they need a complete week. So we don't need to pressurize them, right? So we also need this workflow to actually read our previous conversations so that it can match or it can just be able to send suitable emails now, respecting the previous conversations the prospect and I might have had. Okay, so for this, what I'm going to do is before each of these Gmail nodes, add an OpenAI node, and just give it kind of a command, give it kind of a prompt that you need to view all the previous conversations, and based on which, then you'll update the template. Okay, and also to get those emails, I'll have to add a Gmail node here to get the previous conversations that possibly might be there. So what I'm going to do is set up Gmail nodes on all four of these for getting the emails. So I'll just go again, Gmail, and I'll just select this get many message option. And when I do, I'll just add a filter, and here I'll select this sender, and in this sender section I'll just put the email of that particular person. Okay, so here we have the email. I'll just select it, drag it to this box, and there we have it. Okay, so it'll just scrape all the previous conversations, previous email conversations that we might have had with the same prospect. Then I'm going to do the same thing for all four of these, so just give me a sec. Okay, so I've set them all up. You can just see that I just did this thing for all four paths. Now, there's this another configuration that I would like you to make to this Gmail node, just for the sake of not causing any errors or not leaving any potential chances of any errors being made later. We can just add another filter and select this received after, and here we can just put in the date sent, right? Date sent of the invoice, so that it only scrapes the messages that are sent after we send them the invoice. I mean, if you just put a bit of logic there, you will understand that why I'm doing this, or it might be that if I'm dealing with a prospect that might have dealt with me previously. So let's say I'm just dealing with a person right now, which I worked with a few months ago as well, and then we might have had a conversation on regarding the invoice and regarding when he will pay the invoice or all of that stuff. So it might also scrape that conversation, but we don't want it to. So I'll just put in this after the specific date filter, so that it only scrapes the conversation that happened after we send them this particular invoice. Okay, so yeah, I'll just really quickly do this thing for each of these Gmail nodes. All right, finally, I've done it for all four of these nodes. And now, finally, we will add this OpenAI node to, configure the whole template, the email, the exact email that we're going to send the other person. So I'll just select this message model. For this one, I'll just choose GPT-4o, just to make sure that our template is still high quality. And basically, yeah, the quality of the template is not getting affected and it's only getting better. Now type text, role system. I'll just put in a prompt. So for the prompt, just to make it a little high quality, what I'll do is I'll just go to ChatGPT. I'll just ask ChatGPT to make a prompt for my for me. Hey, I'm creating an invoice follow-up AI agent, which basically just sends all the follow-up messages to prospects that have not paid my invoices. And now the role for this specific AI agent will be to configure and make changes to my email template, my follow-up email template based on the previous conversations that I potentially might have had with the user. And yeah, just make me a prompt that explains the AI agent what to do and how to make changes to my email, also ensuring that the quality of the email should not be changed and the template should not be changed whole completely. Just make sure that the AI agent makes only some small and decent, some required changes only to the email template. And yeah, that's it. And within a few seconds, I'll just get my prompt. Whew, okay. So I've got my results, and you're an invoice follow-up email editing agent. Your job is to review, refine, and update invoice follow-up email templates based on this. Preserve your template quality. Nah. This is too big. Make it short. That's a big prompt, of course. Okay, so I guess now we've got a small prompt. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. So I'll just select it and I'll just go to my workflow. I'll just paste it there. All right, so here's my final prompt. And what I'll do is I'll also add my email template. So I'll just put in here's my email template, and I'll just copy this email template. Um, yep, did it. And I'll go back. I'll put it there in this message model section, this system prompt. And here we go. Okay. So this is my email template. Hi name. Hope you're doing well. This is it. So I'm gonna do the same for all four of these paths. Okay. Again, message a model. Then I'll select ChatGPT for all latest. Oh, and for the role of the user, no, for the role of the system, I can just put in that prompt. Go there, copy it, go back, paste it here, go here, copy the email template. That's a lot of work, huh? Okay, so finally I'm done doing this thing for all four of these OpenAI nodes, and now I'll just want to configure these get many messages, nodes, so that we get the output, and then we can put that output into this these OpenAI nodes, so that this OpenAI node can just make some changes to our email template. And for this, I'll just have to make some changes to these emails that I have here. So here I'll just put in one of my emails so that I can have a back-to-back conversation. Yup, I did put it there, and now to successfully get a demo, I'll just open one of my Gmails. Of course, I won't be showing it to you, or my all Gmails will be exposed. So just give me a sec while I send an email from the email ID that I put in my Google Sheets just now. I'll just send an email from this ID to the ID that I'm using for this workflow. Okay, so I just sent an email to the email ID that I'm using for this workflow. Now I'll just execute this step. Okay, so yeah, finally it's getting me the output that I want, and just checking in on the invoice that Monday has passed, and I wanted to confirm if the payment has been sent. So now if you put in a bit of a logic here, so we'll actually have to give this OpenAI node a context of what date is it today, what date did the other guy send the email on, so that it just has the context, right? So as we mentioned in this email that I will send this payment only next Monday. Now this node will randomly just make some guesses, right? If Monday has passed or not. What Monday is the other prospect talking about? Or all of that stuff, okay? So what I'll do is before that even I'll just make some changes to the system prompt as yeah, in this output I see that it actually has this command of outputting the returned updated email of the updated email plus a brief note of what was changed, which we don't want and which we were just struggling to just put out. So I guess this is much more clean now, and I can remove that whole prompt from the user prompt section. So yeah, I'll just remove it and I'll just replace it with something like the date today is double curly brackets and dollar sign now. So it just gets me the date and time with the time zone and with the particular time. Also, I'll just put in something like by the other prospect, this variable. This was sent on. I'll just put in the date when the other person sent the email. Oh crap, now the thing is that we don't have the date here on which this email was sent to us. So I'll probably just ask an AI that from my Gmail get many messages node, I also want it to extract the date on which the particular email was sent. Okay, so finally, the solution it gave me is to turn off the simplify output thing. So I'll just try it. I'll just go to this get many messages and I'll just turn this simplify toggle off. Then I'll execute this step and hopefully it gives us the date now. So if I see the output, if I, yeah, I'll just check in if we get the date now. Oh my God, that's a whole lot of shit. Okay, so we finally get the date, which is Friday, 12 December, blah, blah, blah. And also it gets the time zone, which we want. So yeah, it pretty much is a very complex thing, but it does the thing, okay? Makes our life easy. So this date was sent on, I'll just put in a column and I'll just drag this date thing and I put it there, okay? That's it. That's all we want. And now what we can do is we'll actually have to just update all of these message a model OpenAI nodes with whatever changes we made to this particular one. So I'll just do it and meet you in a second, okay? Okay, so finally, after a lot of hardships, I've updated these nodes that we have in here. And if I just recap what changes we made. So first of all, I just changed this simplify toggle button to off for all four of these messages so that we get the raw output. And then if I just show you how the raw output looks like, so it's like this. And here also just make sure that the other change that we made is in this prompt, this user prompt, the previous message field that we put on. Previously it was something like json.snippet, but now it's json.text, which if you see here at the very last, you'll just get this one. No, not this one actually. This one in this, yeah, this text one. Hey, I might not be able to send the payment this week, blah, blah, blah. You might also have these other text fields, but just be sure to select the correct one. Okay, that's how we do it, and that's what changes we made. And again, if I just show you the user prompts, so inside these, it looks something like here are the previous messages sent by the other prospect, json.text. Then this was sent on json.headers.date, and the date today is curly brackets now, dollar sign now. Okay, so I guess we're we're almost set up for this whole system. But now, just two things that are left doing is first of all, for all these follow-up Gmail nodes, we'll just delete this template that we have in here, this fixed template that we have, and we'll just replace it with the messenger model nodes output. Okay. So real quickly, I'll just run these OpenAI nodes, and I'll just get the output, and then I'll just put them in this Gmail node. So yep, when I open this, I get the output like, "Hi Ethan Walker, blah blah blah, just following up on the invoice I shared earlier. Thanks for the update. I look out for the payment on Monday as mentioned." Now I'll just select this thing, delete it as a whole, and select this text, put it here. Okay. Now I'll just do the same thing for all four of these. Yep. So we're almost done for all four of these, and we're all set. Okay. Now the last thing, the last step that we have here is adding this update last contacted Google Sheet node to just update the last contacted date, as you might have already understood. This particular column's all the dates for this column. So yeah, just adding in a random Google Sheets node, and we'll just select this update row in Sheet. Now for the identification of the row, we'll just put in some variables, we'll just put in some fields for this Google Sheet node. Before this, we'll just connect it to all these four paths, and then when I select this node, I'll just run this Gmail follow-up thing, and now I'll just select the document, which is again the invoices record, and sheet 1, and then we have all these columns fetched up. So we'll just select the invoice ID to keep it simple. And for this invoice ID, be sure to not select the fields from any of these Gmail nodes, but just go back, go to this distribute follow-ups, and here you have all these invoice IDs. So yeah, just drag it, put it here, and then for the last contacted date, just put in the date it is today. Okay. So for the date today, the variable looks something like, first select expression, then double curly brackets, and dollar sign now, dollar sign now, dot format, then curly brackets, no, whatever brackets are these, and then these, whatever they are called, and then 4 times y, and dd. Okay, that's it. And when I execute this step, I'll just get this thing updated for I guess Ethan. The last contact date is 2025 12/12, and when I go to my invoice record, you see here the last contact date is changed for the particular field I was using. Okay, so here you see our automation, or our system, our follow-up system is complete. Also, if you want to see the email that I just sent, so okay, finally I'll just have to show you my email, huh? But yeah, this is my test account, this is my demo account, so I'll just go to the sent option and this one. Okay, you see, "Hi Ethan Walker, just following up on the invoice I shared earlier. Thanks for the update. I'll look out for the payment on Monday as mentioned. Let me know if anything changes. Best." That's it. That's all you want, and it just gives us this message that this email was sent automatically with any end. So what we'll do is, to prevent this, we'll just go to this Gmail node, and we'll just select this option as append any end attribution, and we'll just select it. We'll just turn it to off. Okay, just do it for all four of these Gmail nodes, just to make sure that none of your email contain this particular sentence, that this email was generated by init and you'll be set. So this is how our final automation looks like, and yeah, kind of beautiful. Has a lot of nodes, but also make sure that you don't use a universal node, like a single Gmail node for all four of these OpenAI nodes, and just connect it with all four of them. It might cause you some errors. It might not. It might sometimes just not grab or catch the exact record that we're looking for, or the exact record that we're going to deal with. That's literally how this follow-up system will be managed, will perform, will send in emails, and again, respecting the previous conversation's context. And yeah, I mean, if you look at it, if you look at this email, nobody can say that this email could possibly be generated by AI, right? I mean, a normal person wouldn't say that, because it first of all gives a reminder, then it also mentions the context that you had with the previous conversations. And all of this is literally done automatically. If you're a business owner who has this thing for yourself, you literally have to do nothing. Okay, you don't have to care about this thing, you don't have to care about the previous context, you don't have to care about the follow-ups, you don't have to care about the payment reminders that you have to send to the other person. And literally 80 to 90% of your invoices will be completed without any external hassle that you'll be required to do. And yeah, all of these like invoices will be paid, you'll get your money, you won't get this extra headache. And this is literally how simple it is, this is literally how simply it works, and this is how practical it is. Now again, you might feel that this automation, this system has a lot of simple nodes, and you don't see any of the intimidating, you don't see any of the sexy shit here, or any of such nodes that might cause this automation, cause this particular workflow to be looking like some high developer shit. And that's why I even said this in my previous video, that no matter how complex your automation looks, no matter how many complex node your workflow includes, it has literally no connection with how effective your automation might be, or how much ROI would it possibly generate to you. Okay. And yeah, that's why if you're a business owner yourself, you can just you can just implement this thing for yourself, and you'll just get all of your pending invoices followed up with, and you'll just get 80 to 90% again. 80 to 90% of your invoices paid within time and within this 16-day range of this follow-up thing. And if you are an automation guy, if you sell automations, if you run an automation agency, you can just copy this whole thing. You can set it up for your clients. You can just sell this thing for people you know, for business to business owners you know. And I just showed you in this video how to build this thing step by step, brick by brick, and literally what changes refer to what output, and what field to use, what variables to use, all of that stuff. Okay, so I hope I made it as easy for you as it was humanly possible. And now, if you like this thing, be sure to drop any gesture of appreciation in the comments, or just by liking this video. And also, if you want to keep seeing these automations, be sure to drop a subscribe to my channel. And also, if you're a business owner that actually is seeing this video, and you understand the ROI that the system might deliver to you, and or if you want me to set this thing up for you, or just give you an audit, a personalized audit based on your business, based on your systems, based on how you work and how your teams work, and just set this whole thing or any other such system that I put on my channel to, yeah, again, set up for you, then I'll just drop a link in my description. You can just reach out to me there. We can just have a conversation. I can just prepare an audit for you. But yeah, till then, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope the value that I provided through it. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day, and thanks for your time. Okay, bye bye.